Hey everybody, Josh Jr. here for an evening in the shop. So what am I doing? Well, I've got one barrel there I got to get cleaned out. I've got a busted up box or busted up bucket of Saddle Mountain petrified wood. I wasn't planning on doing this, but when I went outside and I seen how the sun has destroyed this bucket, I thought, you know, I think this is my next tumbling batch. And so I've got the other tumblers emptied as well, but I've got to get this one done because it was running for, I would say 3 or 4 days too long, but that's just fine with me. No problem, right? Who knows, it might turn into a rock crusher. In the background, you can hear the lottos doing what the lottos do, making noise. Shaking those rocks around at a very high speed, putting the polish on them. Actually, do the pre-polish. And today, we have been kind of dealing with clouds that's been leaking. I guess that's okay. I guess our clouds need to leak water on occasion. So I've got these 2 buckets here. I need to get this here all dealt with. Not too bad. Now, can I do this two-handed? Well, let's try this here. I'm going to get creative. And then I got to reach down, like planning ahead. I've done this enough, you'd think I would actually plan ahead so I'd have the hose up here with me. But nope, not me. And then, this is about as real as it gets. What we got in there? Yep, no grit left. That's how it should be. So I'll set this one down. And this is finishing up with a 60-90 coarse grit, so it does not need to get the most cleanest. I'm not really picky when it comes to cleaning rocks, as what other people are. I'll make sure the majority of the sludge is washed off. And then we'll throw them right back in that barrel. And what I'm doing here is I'm just checking. Do I want to roll them again in a 60-90 batch? You know, heck, I don't even need to clean them anymore. I'm going to put them right back in there. So when you redo a grit, say, like what I'm doing here, from 60-90, you open it up, you say, yeah, I don't like that. I don't like this. It should roll again one more time in coarse grit. There is no reason to sit down and clean everything up again. Rinse out your barrel, rinse off the lid, put the stuff back in it, dump your grit, your additives, seal it up, and start rolling again. Don't waste your time trying to clean this up because it doesn't do a bit of good. You're putting the same grit level in it that was usually in it. And if there's going to be grit impacted in those little spots right there, you can get it out next time. Who cares right now? Save yourself some time. Save yourself the hassle. So that's what I'm going to do. I'll be right back with you guys. Okay, I thought I was going to be back sooner than this and have this be dry. But the Mrs. Jaws Jr., who we all know does not like to be on camera, decided to come out here and show me something. That's okay. Now, ready to go. It's got the white stuff in it. It has the 60-90 grit in it. It's got water in it. And yes, I feel my barrels fuller than most people would recommend. So look at that. They're filled fuller than most people would recommend. Guess what? I do things wrong. I don't follow instructions well. I do things my own way. And if nobody likes it, sorry, don't watch. So what we've done is we've made sure that the lid is nice and clean and mostly dry. So that lip right there, nice and clean. The lid itself around the edge, nice and clean and dry. So that's all I do. That goes on. Not hard at all. Very simple stuff. Then we take a hammer and we beat it into submission. And then we tighten it some more. And then we beat it into submission again. Does anybody you know need that? And yes, it's crooked. You know why? Because when I'm here, at an angle, at my angle, the way I do things, it hits flat now. It's again me modifying yet something else to fit my needs. And how did I modify it? That way. Okay, now I'm going to put this back on the, this one's actually going on the QT12, the Ortone QT12. It spins at a different rate than the beast that I built, so it goes at a different length of time. That's why this is going to be different. And now I can throw that aside. And the Saddle Mountain petrified wood is going to be going in its own separate 3 batches. Make sense? Heck, I don't know what I'm doing. You tell me. Am I doing it right? Next is this Saddle Mountain petrified wood in the Sun Destroyed bucket. There's a couple other little things in here too, like that and whatever that is. And so, and I've even threw one in there that I worked before. And I'm probably going to walk around to make sure that there's none of this other previously worked material that's needs to get thrown in there. But I wanted to show you something. Now, don't get scared. I'm going to turn the lights off on you guys. Well, not all of them, most of them. But don't get scared now. Okay, we have a little bit of light, which is good. But look at that. This is what's so cool about the Saddle Mountain petrified wood. It is UV reactive. See, look at that. You can see what it is. It's kind of the opalized, agatized, but then we hit it with a light. Look how bright orange that is. Isn't that cool? Look at this big piece here. See, that one there might be underneath the coating. Isn't that cool? So as you can tell further down here in the bucket, there is even more. But I wanted to show this to you before I threw them in the barrel, which is going to happen right now. Some of these are just lighting right up. Now, I don't know if this is a surface coating or if it's all going to be all the way through the stones, but we're going to find out. Could I be ruining them? Possibly. Oh, and there's something else too I want to look at. Okay, I'm done with that. And I can turn the lights back on for you guys, so I hope you know that you didn't get too scared being in the dark. Okay. No boogeyman's going to come and get you. Some of these, as I sort through them, are not going to go in the tumbler. I'm going to set these aside to polish that face. And then it'll be rough like that with the polished face. And of course, do I have a, yay, I've got a bucket right there. And that's what I'm going to do. Do I want to tumble this one? I probably will. If this was a whole round, I'd probably keep it. That one there I'm going to definitely do because you got that, it's the round limb cast piece. Now, I don't remember how many of those types of pieces are in here. Probably not that many. All kinds of stuff that came in here from outside. But even if there's just 2 or 3 of them, I'm going to go ahead and set them aside and polish them separately. Okay, so I'm going to start filling up barrels, and I'll bring you back when they're full. Well, I have the 3 barrels filled up. Now, if I was thinking, I would have waited on that 60-90 batch I just started and used that tumbler barrel for the remaining part of this. I didn't realize there was going to be water in the bottom of it, but that's okay. Sometimes I don't do the most intelligent moves, but it is what it is right now. You even have audience in here. I have a live audience. Look at the little bug in there. Sorry, got distracted. Anyways, so same thing as the other barrel though. 60-90 white stuff. Make sure the ribbons are all cleaned up. That the barrel edges are, make sure that's cleaned. And these here are all cleaned up around the edge. Fill it up. Now, I did not fill up these as full as I would have. I think that one actually might be too full. I think I'll take a couple of those 2 pieces there out. There we go. Because of this stuff is so much more rough than the other material that I'm tumbling right now, I don't put as much in the barrels to give them that more tumbling action. I've done this stuff in the past. I expect there to be chipping. I expect things not to be perfect, which is fine. I don't polish my petrified wood to be perfect. I polish it so it's maybe 80% shiny. Maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less. Just how I roll. And got a few pieces that I'm going to do the face polishes to. So what else is there? I don't know what. I might show you guys something else. This is just a typical tinkering night in the rock shop. God, there's a title for a video. Tinkering in the rock shop. Now, I have done a video on these buckets. And this is still one of the best purchases I've made for Lapidary. They are so nice for storing your grit and being able to stack them and keep them organized. Now, mind you, I buy my grit 200 and 300 pounds at a time. So, I'm going to take the plastic bag out from there. And if you're wondering where this came from Johnson Brothers Lapidary. I buy my coarse grit from Johnson Brothers Lapidary from the Rock Shed or Highland Park. The Highland Park has a tendency of having the grit size be closer to a 90 grit, while the Johnson Brothers Lapidary and the Rock Shed has the grit size being closer to a 60 grit. It's still 60/90, but on average, the Johnson Brothers Lapidary and Rock Shed is generally more coarse rather than the Highland Park. Johnson Brothers Lapidary and Rock Shed is more coarse than the Highland Park. There we go. So add a cup in per barrel, 12-pound barrels. So those of you who are thinking that these are 3-pound barrels, no, they're 12. It takes a full cup. And then some of the white stuff, which happens to be on the bucket that you guys are sitting on, right there. But I'm having you guys sit on the bucket because it just works out good. Water, put the lids on, tap them down, start rolling. That's all we're going to do. And I thought I was doing good. What do you see wrong? Yeah. You know, sometimes I am just not the sharpest stick in the woodshed. There's just times that I really question myself. And should I be showing all this stuff to you? Yeah, because this is a typical day in the shop. Get it into submission. Kill the little spider. You didn't know that'd be a good spider killer, did you? It is. Pop, pop, pop. Okay. That's right. Now, you're going to probably wonder about this one here. Let's do a little bit of a history. This one here is probably one of the original style Loretone QT12 barrels. This was been stored in a garage, I would say probably for at least 30 years, hence the pitting in this. And if you look at this nut here, you see the little brass insert? The original styles does not have the brass insert. So evidently they were having issues with these stripping out when people were over tightening them. And so they prevented that by putting the brass insert in. So I would say that this change took place probably sometime in the 90s. So there is a lapidary history lesson. You never thought you was going to get that today, did you? You're welcome. So this will roll for 5, maybe 6 days. Then I will recharge it with 60/90 grit and let it roll for another 5 or 6 days. The other barrel's rolling right there. So, just remember, everyone's life's an adventure. Then there's mine, in an evening out here in the shop. This is the Adventures of Josh Jr. Have a good one, everybody. See ya!